In a boxing match, it's like everything is right with my world. When I have my gloves on, I feel connected to my ancestors. When I hear boxing, I hear the rhythm of the people. And when I smell boxing, that's my favorite scent. Smelling the gym and the hard work. Smelling the old leather, that's always a scent that brings nostalgia and excitement for the future for me. When I see boxing itself, I really see myself reflected. I knew it before I knew words that I wasn't a girl. And for a lot of trans people I talk to, it's something they knew as a kid. I grew up in Gardena, California. It's a smaller city in South LA. It's near like Compton, Carson, Torrance area. I mean, it's hard to say like what's a typical childhood. I grew up with my mom, my grandma, my older sister, and 2 of my uncles. I think that we get used to what normal is. You get into school and people start reinforcing what is a boy and a girl, that I really felt like I was somewhere in between all of that. Why do you keep labeling me as a girl? Eventually, over time, that gets beaten into you, so you finally submit to it and you're like, okay, I am a girl. When puberty started hitting, suddenly my body was doing all the things that I didn't feel comfortable with at all. Periods, I don't want any part of that. Like, I remember crying when I first got my period. It was like a mark of like, whether you want it or not, you're being labeled a woman for the rest of your life. And I definitely kind of withdrew within myself when I was in high school. I think there was this like sensing that I was masculine, I was different. My friend group got a lot smaller and I really kind of pulled away from everyone. I just stopped caring about everything. So I tried to do the only thing I could to kind of pull myself together. And it was actually during this period that I found the sport. Throw the right first. You're gonna throw the right first?
I'm gonna throw the right first. So you just lift. After your hands up high. It's an individual sport, but actually it's a team sport also, because all the kids push each other. A lot of them were in trouble, but the discipline is the #1 thing. It's changed a lot of these kids' lives. And I seen Pat box in a tournament, I'm gonna say about 10 years ago or so, in Lincoln Heights. I had just started training female fighters, so I was kind of looking at the females and I seen Pat fight. Pat had a lot of raw talent. Pat's a very aggressive fighter. Great condition and doesn't fight like a girl. Pat's stronger, more physical, learned how to punch a lot harder, and just is aggressive, boxes like a man, is now a man.
I knew that I had to make my body look like a fighter's, and the only way I knew how to do that was to actually start fighting. It was the first time in a long time I felt comfortable being me, because I was learning how to move my body and be present in a way that I never had, and was able to do something that made me feel good. I mean, it was really actually the confidence from boxing that made me start exploring my queer identity.
Honestly, probably more than half of the boxers don't even know that Pat was a female.
My name is Lynette Smith. I'm the Assistant Executive Director of USA Boxing. I work with athletes, coaches, officials to promote Olympic boxing across the country. Oh, sure. I'm happy to talk about Patricia Manuel as a boxer. Excellent boxer. She was formidable, I think would be the word. I mean, absolutely Olympic trials quality athlete.
The Olympic dream, the Olympic dream, I guess, was attached to me being a female athlete. Back in 2010, the IOC announced that they would include women's boxing in the Olympics. So we were like, let's make history, let's go to the Olympics. That was the thing that kept me back from transitioning for a long time, was my fear of losing eligibility to compete. I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to represent as an out queer athlete. It really took, though, losing the 2012 Olympic boxing trials for me to really grab on that I was trans.
In sport, there are obviously serious ramifications with regard to gender classification and with us weight class and so forth. But my first real interactions with Pat were when he had questions about changing his designation as an athlete from female to male.
Lynette helped me switch everything over and kind of actually create a policy for USA Boxing. I don't think they had ever dealt with a trans athlete who had been established as a female athlete and was transitioning over to the male division. I needed to be true to myself. This whole like female stuff is bullshit. I don't believe in it. There's life outside sports. There's life outside of just boxing. So I decided, let's do it. Let's go full in and actually medically transition rather than just socially transitioning.
So I took those questions to the USOC. They helped me with that, and they actually take their direction from the International Olympic Committee, the IOC. Okay, thanks. Have a good day. So we worked together and got all of that information together, and then I passed it back to Pat.
And then the next step was like, what did I want to do about that? Did I want to still compete in the female division as a trans man, or did I want to go for competing in the male division, which is something in boxing I never knew anyone had done.
For Pat to change from female designation to male, you had to be recognized in your state by a government agency of your new designation, your new gender. We had to get reports. You had to have medical clearance with regard to if surgery was performed to levels of different hormones in your body. And he sought information from me so that we could take care of it, and he could actually participate as a new gender in USA Boxing.
It's like, it. I've done a lot in life. I'm gonna start the hormones and I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna see what happens. Currently, I'm just training to kind of get back in the swing of things, get back to doing a couple more amateur fights. My coach, Vic, is the one that makes the decision if I turn pro or not. I'm hoping to sway him with really good performances in my amateur bouts. I know he'll tell me I'm ready when he knows that I'm actually ready. Today is my boxing club, Duarte Boxing, annual boxing show. If I get a fight today, this would be my second time fighting in the male division, but I've also had over 50 sanctioned amateur bouts previously, so this isn't my first rodeo, that's for sure. Definitely had some issues before that hints at there may have been people not wanting to engage with me in a match because of transphobia, but you know, it's never fully verified. It's just suddenly someone lost interest in competing against me. So, you know, we just take it one fight at a time and just try to just keep trying until we get the match done.
I think a couple of times that we've had some bouts fall out is because they found out. Honestly, I think that they were just afraid that they were gonna lose and to a former female fighter. And we go to these shows not saying anything. We just put Pat up as a male fighter, and that's it on the board.
It shouldn't matter what I identify as, if I'm transgender or cisgender. If I'm in the male division, I am open for you to compete, and that should be it.
How long of a walk do you want to do?
Probably like a 15. We did 30 last time, so.
Okay. So we
get
don't
there
have to be there till like 11.
Well, I'm gonna get ready.
Amitha is my girlfriend of like a year and a half. She's been definitely one of my biggest supporters, not just in boxing, but in kind of every aspect of my life.
I had actually met Pat at a community mixer for LGBTQ people of color here in Los Angeles. I was trying to expand my own network, and we were in a small discussion group together, and I was just like realizing that I was starting to have feelings for him. It was very unexpected. Are you sure you don't want some?
No, I'm good, thanks.
It's actually been a lot trickier than I expected being able to date post medically transitioning, but luckily I have a queer girlfriend, so I don't have to worry about that as much.
I guess I don't think of it as significantly different than dating anyone else because everyone is a different person. So it's hard for me to think about like some experience or something of dating a transgender man as opposed to anyone else that I've dated.
Ginkgo, come. Come. She is not having it today. As I've grown up and when I also was presenting gender nonconforming, there were instances in Long Beach where I was mistaken as a feminine man and attempted to be gay bashed. Fortunately for myself, I could fight. So anyone that made that mistake ended up finding themselves laid out. Sit. Good girl.
Because he passes nowadays more and more as a cisgender man and is seen as someone who can fight, even if people don't know that he's a boxer, just how he moves through the world and through spaces. What I've noticed most of all is that the level of harassment from cisgender men has significantly decreased when I'm standing next to Pat.
Come, Ginkgo. What you doing? Honestly, I'll say right now, I'm not satisfied until all of my other comrades are also like, yep, that's good, we're good, we feel represented, we feel that it's actually equal and fair for us. You look at the demographics of boxing, it's people who are struggling in one way or the other. You come into the sport usually because something's going on that's driving you to want to fight. Boxing represents me in so many ways that nothing else ever have I seen does. If someone could sum me up with one word, it would be a fighter.
Yeah. You got 5 pounds to lose by Friday.
That's easy. So since we didn't get the fight Saturday, what's gonna be next on the agenda?
We're gonna try and get a fight this Friday in Pasadena. I talked to Foster, who's putting on the show, and he's gonna try to see about getting you a match. So there's a good chance we're gonna get a fight.
Okay.
Hopefully we get a fight and we start getting ready for our next big tournament.
I'm hoping we just stay busy the rest of this year and then keep moving forward to the next step on 2017.
Hopefully next year we turn professional.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, it gives me chills just to talk about it now, but for Pat to think or to feel that I had a role in his being able to continue boxing, it makes me so joyful.
Love him, he's a great guy. And that's what I've told Pat from the beginning, you're just one of the guys. You belong up there.
I know boxing is Pat's first love. It's just my role as someone who loves him to support him and to help him in whatever way I can to achieve his dreams.
My name is Patricio Manuel, and I am just getting started.